Alright, welcome back everybody to an episode of City Skylines, and well, actually I was recording an episode and it actually did not work for me. Bandicam ended up crashing on me, but we created this school here, or I created that school in that episode. Unfortunately it didn't stick around. I did go back and put in some few extra details. I think it turned out pretty good. I was looking for a soccer field. I was thinking of maybe putting that over here. I thought I had one installed, but I guess not. But we have a couple parking spots up here, and then I put just some tree and stuff here. I was just testing some stuff right here, and I went ahead and put the fence around. The fence not perfect if you look at it from down below. I'm not sure what this spot's about here, but yeah, it goes all the way around. There's gonna be a little bit of a housing right here, and then there's gonna be some back here. I also took this road. I don't think I did this in an episode. Is I took this road up and around, and now it comes over here. You might be noticing, I think I explained this in that episode that I didn't record either, is that my textures are gone. I loaded in the episode yesterday to do the episode yesterday, and they were just gone. They don't exist anymore. I tried disabling and enabling them, and basically anything I could try, but nothing seems to work. So yeah, so I'm probably gonna mess with that when I have some extra time, but I really don't want to mess with them right now. I might just enable the old textures that we had on here. As you can see on here, the line arrows and stuff are working, and there's the only and everything, but the actual color change and everything is just gone. Like, I loaded in and it was just gone, so that was short-lived. Okay, so yeah, we did rearrange a little bit of these roads, and I went and came back and redid this one. I think the only thing I didn't do was change up the lanes here. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that right now, just to make sure everybody knows where they're going. I wish you could kind of add turning lanes on the roads with medians, because otherwise you just have to convert them to these roads, which is alright. But I'd kind of like to, if we could have a mashup bolt, that'd be really cool. All right. And then these guys are going to go straight across. Yeah, I'm going to do this because otherwise they'll just ride down the middle lane. We'll probably see them doing it anyways, but just to prevent any of that from happening is definitely a good thing. Alright, and they can turn there, and then they can go there. And I'm going to kind of split these guys up. I'm not going to allow them to go into their either lane, because when they're making their left and right turns, hopefully they can get into separate lanes, so that way left and right can make a turn at the same time, which has sometimes worked for me, not always. Did we get... Yeah, okay. We got that zoned up. Oh, that whole strip's missing there. There we go. So yeah, we got that going. I would like to get another school going over here, probably kind of over in this area. I was talking about maybe taking out this kind of square right here, but I don't think I want to. I think if anything, I want to kind of build it over here. I want it to be off the main road again. I like doing that. I've noticed that places do it different, and different people do it different as well. Like, if I'm going to do it off the main road, I usually kind of build it back like this. I think it looks alright. It's far enough from the road, but yet it's still got really good easy access to everything. So I think that is kind of the key there, so that works. One of the things I was thinking of doing in this episode was trying to get some rail going, but I think I'm going to say that for the moment, because I kind of just honestly don't feel like doing that right now. But that does need to be done. But okay, so we got this area going. We could put the cinema out here, but I did not move that one to RACO. It's only in the parks, so I would rather move that to RACO before we get any further with that. Maybe we should just get the rail over with, because I was thinking we could build out this road. I think we'll get maybe 2 or 3 crossings here. I think 2. I think we're going to kind of space them out, and we'll do 2. We'll do another one over here. We'll have this one here. That could severely mess with some of the stuff in this area, but we'll see. I still like to build a little bit of an interchange here and kind of come off of there, and then go from there, but that's for another day as well. One thing I was thinking of doing, I didn't leave enough room in the middle for it, was I was kind of thinking of maybe running the rail down the middle for a little bit. But that's not going to really work, so let's start. I think we're going to start over here. I want to have a rail yard somewhere as well, and I've got some props now that should be able to take advantage of that. So what I was actually thinking is we can have it come in here, we can have it curve, and then we can have another one maybe come from over here. What is this? I think that's farmland. There's like ore or something over here, which is nice. But yeah, and then kind of curve it, bring it across the freeway, and then kind of bring it down into maybe in here, and then reconnect it to the outside somewhere over here. And then I was also thinking of running a line that kind of comes down here and then comes up over here. So that could work. And then we could possibly bring one that kind of comes down here. I'd also like to build a little bit of a suburb over here as well. So I think we're going to start, yeah, we're going to start it over here. I think that's going to be a lot easier on us. Let's, although it would kind of make sense for it to be across the way just because that would be kind of like, you know, where it started. 2-lane, 2-way rail. That's interesting. Is that new, or is that icon looks different? But I guess, is that what they're calling it now? Because I know there's 1-way rail. What is this? Is this a sound barrier? Oh, look at this. We might be able to use some of these on the highway or something. Let's see what that looks like. Does that require... Wow, look at that. Yeah, that would work on the highway as well. That's really nice to see. I didn't even know I had that installed. Was there anything else that was in there? Yeah, there's some extra stuff in here, which is nice. Ah, here we go. So single 1-way, and we got a single 2-way. Oh, okay, so... Oh, they do have single tracks in here now. Look at that, but they can go either way on that. Okay, okay. And then we got a 2 1-way. Okay. So it's a 1-way track, but it's got 2 tracks on it, which is nice. And then we got the single 1-way as well, which is also nice. Okay, that's actually really nice. So now I know what we can do. Now, if we do a let me do an experiment here real quick because I've not used these before, so I don't know if this will work. But let's take this guy. So the single 2-way, and then is this the single? Let's see, the single 2-way was over here, right? 2-lane 2-way track. Okay, if we do that, is there any... Oh, there's a nice transition. Look at that. Wow. Okay. Why can't we get stuff like that for the road? Okay. So yeah, that's definitely doable. So I'm thinking that coming into here, and then after we, you know, kind of pass this industrial area, we'll stick it back down to 1 track. Now the question is, does that 1-lane track do bridging and stuff is going to be a big question. So single 2-way rail. Let's see here. Yeah, they do. Alright, well that's cool. Yeah, does it just fine. Alright. I do love mods. I don't even know what mod did that, to be honest with you, but I've been looking forward to the 1-lane rail for a while now, and that's nice that we finally have it. So, alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with this. Should we just build the, we could just build the kind of depot right now if we really wanted to. Should we just come straight off like that? I think for this, oh, we should remove these guys, because I don't want those. You don't see those very much, especially here in America. Okay, we're gonna change that up. Can we change that? Sweet. Alright. So we're gonna remove those guys. So I'm just trying to think of the way to do this. I kind of wish I looked at a few little informational stuff, pictures and stuff, informational stuff, I don't know what I'm saying. A few pictures and stuff of rail depots and stuff, but I think we can kind of mess with this a little bit. I don't know if they have like a track that kind of comes in and it goes all the way straight through. I don't know if that's actually something they do or not. So what I would like to do, and this is actually gonna make it look a little bit better too, I think. Nice. Okay, we got, yeah, I do remember downloading those. I was just trying to take a look at kind of what else we might have going on here. Yeah, some of these I do remember getting, but definitely the train tracks are new. The single 2-way. So what I'm thinking is we'll kind of do a, should that be 2? No, that's going to be 1. And I think at that point it's also going to be 1. If we do, we can't come straight off of there, can we? Let's see what this will do. If we can do something like this, that would be helpful. So that's the single 2-way, yes. Okay, so if we come straight off of there, alright, and then we kind of find the angle that works. on this guy, which is that right there. Yeah, that works out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with this so far, so we'll just kind of come like that. And then we can bring things... I wonder if we can do this. No. Alright, well that pretty much answered that question right then and there, didn't it? Alright, let's do this. So this will get us nice straight tracks. And go back into here and make sure we have this here. Now, how far apart do we want these? Is that too close? I think that's fine. We do have the guide wires above those and we can't change it. Well, that's kind of annoying. That kind of puts a damper in this. Yeah, and that would actually look really good going through the city as well, but I can't do that. I mean, I can, but I really don't want... I don't see any way of turning those off. Well, that's kind of frustrating. So we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way then. And we're going to have to have 2-lane track all the way through. 2-way rail. Okay, so let's go ahead and... Guide wires are off, so let's go and turn those off. And... let's find the angle. I don't know why I deleted that road. That road would have been actually quite helpful to have. I might just do it for this section anyways. It might look alright if we do that. Do like... how often should we do these? Maybe like every 2? Is that too close? Does that look alright? That looks alright. So I don't know. How many should we do? So that's 4. Let's do 5. And then we'll call... We'll make that the end right there. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then what I'm thinking is that we'll have some breaking off. Well, maybe we should break off on both sides. No, I think we're just going to break off on that side. And then I think we'll have some that actually do break off on this side a little bit, but they're going to be old abandoned tracks. And you'll see what I'll do here in a little bit. I have a lot of room to play with here, so that's good. Usually these are pretty large. So if we kind of come out to there... Why is that one going up? Is this one doing that too? This one's doing that too. Let's knock that back. Now it's going down. Let's try this again. Let's delete. Let's just delete these. And let's go to the road again. Okay, that's fine. It's coming straight off of there. So if we go to, let's say this one. I see the problem. Why is it not snapping to that like it should be? Oh, did I have... No! Snapping... yeah, that was a pretty dumb little moment I had right there. But I figured it out. And I figured it out all by myself, luckily. That took way longer than it should have, and I feel pretty dumb about doing that. But, you know, we figured it out at the end, so that's good. I was thinking to myself, I was like, why is this not snapping? Well, because snapping's not turned on. How about that? Okay, it was going at an angle again. It scared me for a second, but... Alright. Yeah, I think I got some props and stuff, too, that we can use to kind of put trains on the track. I'm not sure. I have to go through my props and see. Alright, does that look long enough? That looks good. Yeah, that looks good. I would say that's probably... I'm not going to guesstimate. It could almost be just a little bit longer if we really wanted to. Which we might. We might go out to about here. And then we can kind of start coming back. We could make it at an even less of an angle like that. That was not what I meant to do. Maybe an angle like that instead. So then it'll join back up with this guy. What are you doing? Oh, it does not like that angle. Of course. So does it like that angle? Yeah, that... Ooh, that angle okay? No. It's not happy with that either. As you can see, it bumps down a little bit. Well, I think it's fine, actually. Just looked like it was. It actually did a little bit, but it's not very noticeable. So it's noticeable on that one because I did it way too far back. But if we kind of put it as close as we can, it's not very noticeable. But if we do it like we did on this one, you can definitely notice it. So let's go ahead and fix that. And I'll probably look at some rail depots and stuff online and kind of see what to look for and kind of how they lay out the tracks and whatnot. Because I'm not too sure. I mean, I've seen a bunch of them, but I've never seen, like, you know, them from an aerial view or kind of, you know, from the creation standpoint. So it's interesting. It's something I need to look into. It doesn't look very good, does it? It doesn't look very good at all. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that for now just to kind of mark that that's where that's gonna go, but I'll probably off camera go in and and actually try to sort it out, because I don't like how that looks at all. Okay, so I think we'll have the train. Should we have the train come up and over the freeway or under it? We could have it go under it, which would be alright too. Let's see here, we're not, I already know that we're probably not. Nope. From that little test we did earlier, it pretty much showed that to me. So let's make sure the nice slopes are on. How does that look? Is that a gentle enough, like, trains type slope? Oh, that looks pretty good actually. Alright, and I think we'll just kind of continue off at that angle as we come across. And then I think, yeah, we'll come down at that angle too. Yeah, usually train track slopes are usually pretty gentle. Does it go right through that? Yeah, of course it does. But you know what? I'm going to leave it for now. You could fix it right now and not have to worry about it later, but what's the point in that? Do a nice subtle curve like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then we can come across the river here and do a nice train crossing there. That looks pretty good. I think that's a pretty good slope too. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I kind of wish, let me see if we can do this. Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. But it's not going to let me because it, oh yes it is. I was going to say it's not going to let me because it's on a curve, but yes, there's always a way around doing that. That looks 10 times better. Now we're here, so what I'm thinking is that it will curve up and maybe kind of come out close to that highway there. Not like super close, but closer than it is right now. So I think it's gonna do something kind of like this. So it's gonna come around the outskirts of town a little bit. And then, yeah, somewhere in there looks alright. So there's our first major rail line, which looks pretty good. So I'm thinking, yeah, we'll do another split from over here. Yeah, we'll split into this here. I just don't want to impede too much where the suburbs are, but that's kind of what makes it unique, is when you kind of build around it. So, and not very many people like to live around it, of course, but it does give it a nice look for sure. Should we stop there? I want to create an intersection here. Yeah, we can get away with something like that. That'd be good. That doesn't look very good. Where did we come off on that one? It had to have been back in there. So if we kind of, because usually rail is pretty much like that in many ways. This one will probably be a little bit more of an angle. And I think we have room to do that, so that's what we might do. I think up until there it's good. Yeah, that split looks a little weird, but I'm not gonna mess with it too much right now. But usually the rail it's almost like an exit in a way on a freeway. It's pretty subtle, just because, you know, I mean, the more twisting and turning you have, the more wear and tear you have, and then also the slower the trains have to go, and the more likely for derailments and everything. So it just makes it easier on everybody, literally, to not do that. So, let's see if we can get it nice and close. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I think we'll work on that later, but I think that looks pretty good. So it just kind of curves in and then intersects with that there. I'm thinking of breaking another one off this way, which then would come back across the river and I think come across here. I think that could look pretty good. So let's start at this end. So let's start at this end here, and let's just see how we can kind of, we'll kind of closely follow the road. Whoa, that's immediately a tunnel. That's not what I wanted. To delete that, we're gonna have to go underground and remove that. Well, that didn't last long at all. Let's come back up to ground level, and let's just make sure that we do that. So, yeah, I'm wondering how happy this thing is going to be with me, but we'll see. Okay. Yeah, because usually the trains are at a much different slope. So we can smooth the edges, and I think it'll look alright. It'll be lower than the road, but I think it'll look good in that sense. So I think as we get closer and closer to the bottom of the hill and closer to the interchange, we want to try and kind of, well, we could just curve it around and then exit over there instead of having to come across the road over here, and then we could just do a line in between. But I don't think I want to do that. So is that angle? Yeah, that's a pretty good little slope there, but it's handling it pretty well. And we can smooth those edges out a little bit, and we can always come back with like a surface painter and maybe put some rocks or something in there too. Alright. I kind of just, well, we're on a little bit of a slope there, so we might end up using that to our advantage. Which might work. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So if we switch back to letting it choose, and then maybe do something like that, I think it pretty much doesn't have to come up that much, which is definitely nice. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good. So then if we kind of do, let's see here, I'm just trying to figure out where to run it. We want to run it up along the river a little bit, and then back down. I think we could get away with that. So if we just kind of do a nice subtle curve, that could look pretty good. We have plenty of room here. Let's see here. Is that too steep, or is that looking good? No, that looks great. Alright. Yeah, I would definitely like to come back. Not necessarily on this one, but maybe on the other one. Especially in this next one we're going to do. We're going to do bridges for now, just because I don't want to redo it, or I don't want to redo the highway right now, but at some point I would like to come back and have the highway come up and over or something, or have like a dip and dive type of situation where, you know, one road goes up and one part goes down. So just kind of, you know, make each area kind of look different, make it look like it was kind of retrofitted. And okay, so if we do that and then we come back up to 12 and we do that, but I just kind of want to get some rail going. Like I've been putting this off for way too long, and that's why in this episode I was kind of not wanting to do it, but it's like we just needed to get it done. So to about there, which should give it a nice slope. It's definitely going to make it interesting for when we come and start building around these rail lines for sure. Alright, so let's create another nice little Y intersection. I think this one's going to automatically look better anyways. So at least we'll have like the fundamentals and the basics done. You know, like the rail laid out, we'll have some of the other stuff, you know, kind of sorted out. But the overall bulk of the design is not going to be a huge deal. We don't need to do those Y interchanges everywhere. We can just do a single, you know, split off as well, which I think we should do in this area. We could almost get away with that, but I'm going to make this like the main line. So this is kind of like not a very main line. So I think we'll have the split off the side that's coming from the main line, which just makes sense. And I'm going to make that the main line because it's coming from the industry. So I think what we would end up doing is something like this. And then we can kind of come across the river. Let's kind of do something like that. Let's see how that turns out. Sure, I like the curve though. Not that sharp of a curve. Does look pretty good though. Might leave it. Do we do a curve on this side as well? A little bit, not much. What I was kind of thinking is maybe bringing it down over here, so let's do that instead. So we can fix that up a little bit. Probably off camera go up and tweak the rail yard once I get it figured out, kind of what I want to do. So we'll do kind of a nice thing like this, and then maybe this one will just come straight across, and it creates that nice little area right there. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And then I think at some point we'll cross it back over. Yeah, we might do it kind of at this interchange, because we're going to redo this interchange anyways, and I think it would be a challenge for sure to create that interchange with the rail line kind of going near it. It wouldn't be that huge of a deal though, because it's only a three-way interchange. So I think we're going to cheat a little bit on this one, and we're not going to bridge or anything. We're just going to kind of do something like this. And then if we can kind of bring it along this highway a little bit, which would make sense. And then end it there. I think that'll look good. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I think the only thing that I could see is maybe something that comes down along this way. Yeah, let's do that. Should we do a full or partial like we did back there? I think a partial would be alright. I think we'll cheat a little bit on this one too. So this is actually going to be a little bit of an interesting interchange, needless to say, to try and do. So I was thinking, yeah, something like that. And then I think as we hit the, you know, I'm going to cheat on this one too. I'll come back off camera and fix this up, but I just kind of want to get this going and done. Don't want to spend too much time on it, but it looks like we're going to spend a whole entire episode. So, oh well. But yeah, we'll do a full interchange here just because it's matching up with the main line here. Alright. Yeah, those look pretty good. Alright, so then we have that line come down here, so it just kind of splits off. We could almost get away with splitting that off a little bit different way. So we have what I would consider the main rail line that comes to the industry will come up through here. And then this might be like a passenger type line, like, you know, mainly, you know, at this point there might only be passengers coming down the line. I don't know yet. But yeah, so we have this, but I'm gonna have I'm gonna have shared lines. If you haven't figured that all out yet, I'm probably not gonna focus too much on doing train stations and stuff. Again, that's just not something that you see very often here in America, and in most of the cities. Train, you know, Amtrak is mainly for long haul travel, so I'm gonna kind of stick to that, and it shares the same paths as freight trains. So I'm not going to do a separate line for passenger, a separate line for freight. You know, at some point I might experiment with that, but right now I'm not. I'm trying to make this kind of, you know, what I would envision I'd see. So I think we'll leave this one. Well, I think this one will actually go under, and then we'll have the freeway come over top. But I'm going to do that off camera. We might just have the freeway come all the way up and over. I'm not sure yet. It's kind of a roll type of thing, so we might. And these here we could actually bridge up a little bit sooner if we wanted to. And then we wouldn't have to bridge these per se. Which might make it easier for creating this interchange. I'm not sure. We could do one up and one under as well. I don't know yet. That's actually an interesting idea. This is going to be interesting as well. So we got a little bit of work, but I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. I think the only other thing is maybe a line coming from this way, but I don't think I'm really going to worry about that. Quite surprised at how well that turned out. Unfortunately, that was pretty much the whole episode, but as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. Definitely check out all the other videos. And as always, thanks for watching.